Hi. Man, see, last week it worked. There it is. 8 people. Well, thank you. Thanks for being here, 8 people. Well, let me read through some comments here real quick. It's a great Tuesday, man. Glad y'all made it. Glad everybody made it here. Let me go over here. Oh, I'm not wearing my glasses. Give me a second to read these. Oh wow, 3 people disappeared. You know what? Screw it. I hope you 5 hit the like. Let's see. Love your show. Love your style. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, man, is that a dog? No, is that a kid with a what in the world is that? I can't even see that photo there. Wow, 16 people. Oh, thanks, man. Hypothetical, I agree with you that is TV, but if it's not, who would be your next POYB? Who would that be? You know what? Look, man, I know this is going to sound really odd. I know that this right here, people ain't going to get it right away, but think about it. Really think about it. I happen to know somebody, good friend with the guy. Kind of happened to be there that day. Just kind of happened to be around. You see where I'm at? No, seriously, man. I don't even have a second person. I mean, man, I was sold on the fact that it was Thomas Jerome Bruce like 3 years ago. I mean, I was sold on the fact that he looked like the mugshot. And I thought, wow, you know what? He does look a hell of a lot like, I'm sorry, his mugshot looked like the sketch. And that's exactly what St. Louis told Carroll County. Look, man, we arrest a guy on first degree murder, looks like your sketch, is dressed just like your suspect was, had never been arrested, didn't have any DNA or fingerprints to be matched to. We think we might have your guy. So again, when I looked into him and I seen his mugshot, I'm like, whoa, that's pretty big. Then I started going through, lining everything up, finding anything I could on him, really investigating. And I found a great deal. And it took me from, let's see, what was that, the 20th? November 20th. So it took me 19 days from that time of researching. And I made a video on December 9th, 2018, called Thomas Jerome Bruce is Bridge Guy. And that's when I started getting really sold on it. I'm like, yeah, this is. When I found the directions between St. Louis and Fort Wayne, Indiana, I was like, wow, follows the Hoosier Heartland. Crazy, insane. He'd rode that way a bunch of times. So I don't really have another person. And, it comes down like this to me. And I don't think everybody sees this in a like manner. I was told at the first year press conference by Trooper Kim Riley that the man had never committed a crime, or excuse me, had never been caught committing a crime. He had never been arrested. He says maybe he's done something, but we can find no traces of him. That told me right there. It wasn't about DNA. He couldn't even comment on DNA. They had fingerprints. You see? So the thing is every person of interest that has been brought forward, every single one has a criminal record. They would have been they would have been found immediately. They would have been found. The FBI would have had them. State of Indiana, they would have been located. So I don't really have a second on that. There is nobody else. There's been 2 persons of interest I've had. Daniel Nations and Thomas Jerome Bruce. That's it. And Thomas Jerome Bruce, he's the one. He's the man that sticks. They will be filing charges down there. Know it. Okay, man, I lost what? Geez, I'm way up here. My top 2 are TB and DP. Oh, who is DP? If you don't mind, throw up who DP is. Thank you very much, Mod. Thank you. Puppy's in the other room, but it's because I'm doing a video. He'd be right here, looking in the camera. That's who he is. Hey, Sarah, man, glad you made it. What up, Jean-Claude? Heather, how you doing, Heather? And Grandmama, Shell, Tommy Baker, hi. All is well. Everything is going according to plan. Make no mistake, Christy Land, it's all going to plan precisely in the way that I called it. Of course, I was thinking it'd be like 2 years ago, but everything is going right according to plan. Hey, what up, Monica? Jen? I am. I am. Uh, who is that? Who is that? And I didn't catch it. Oh, Daniel Peterson. Really? Really? Wow. Man, I don't even know where to go with that. I really don't. But that's stick with it. Yeah, hey, thumbs up, man. That would be a super cool idea. Thank you, Sharon. You know what? You rock. You really do. So let me get kind of on with the news since people are now arriving. I got some bad news. God, for like 3 years, 3 years. Let me be clear. I've thought, well, why don't I use my CyberLink screen recorder? Go to Facebook, go to Thomas Bruce's his Facebook page, and scroll down and record absolutely everything on it. Have it all recorded. That way, I'll always have it. So the day after he was convicted, which was Saturday, I thought, I'm going to go do that. And guess what? It's gone. It's been taken down from Facebook, so it's no longer there. Can't be looked at. The good news on that is I downloaded every picture and I downloaded the criminal type post that he made. So I got a lot on it, and I even have some recorded as the time on Twitter of when he stopped using Twitter and when he started again. He stopped in November of 2016, started back up again in April of 2017. That's when he was out of money. That's when he filed bankruptcy. And right there toward the end, that's when Delphi happened. Oh, let's see. Bitcoin's looking damn good. I hope everybody got in on that, while they could. And it's really looking good now. And you know what? I've been eating like fat Elvis, man. I have, man. Ain't really gaining weight, but I'm eating damn good, man. I've been watching this guy. It's really good cook and stuff, on YouTube. And I've kind of been following his ideas. And I'm just like, wow, man, I'm just like eating like 5,000 calories a day. It's insane. I love it, man. Love it. Okay, that's all the real news I got. All right, so what I'm going to do tonight is this. Because I suspicion highly, in fact, I would say on all of these that Thomas Jerome Bruce is the culprit at large. I'm going to go over the cases that I suspicion him in. The murder of Mary Pryor in 87, the murder of Van Pates in 99, then on to Iowa and Delphi. So let's begin here. Let me share this. That with sound, if you don't mind, that'd be cool. Thank you. All right. So if everybody can follow along, well, let me get rid of me here. No, not like that, like that. There we go. All right, kind of follow along here. This right here, this is Flint, Michigan. Okay. Now, right here is where Thomas Bruce lived. Now, this is after he got out of the Navy in 1996, I believe. Might have been 97. I forget which year it was he got out. I think it was 96. But he moved back to Flint because Flint is in Genesee County, Michigan. Now, this is where he was living at. Now, the first murder we're going to look at is that of Mary Pryor, which happened in this little bitty town here, Lennon. So if we go into Lennon, let me get this out of the way. Fix that right there. Hold on tightly. Here's the highway that goes through Lennon. right here. Now, this, let me see, right here is the tavern, Midway Tavern, and she lived right across the street from it. Now, I don't know exactly which house here or whatnot, but I do know that her body was found out here. And they put that at about 300 yards behind her house, which means that she had to have been led to there. I don't think he carried her there. Now, she was 83 years old. This town right here has about a population of 400 people. 400 people. And every single one of them wanted to know from law enforcement, who could have did this to that sweet old lady? She was 83 years old. The whole town knew her. Who could have did that? Who would have sexually assaulted her, and left her dead like that? And they wanted to know who did it. Well, in this case, law enforcement has DNA of the suspect and fingerprints. However, in having DNA and fingerprints, none gave the suspect. None would show who he was. Now, that right there should tell you something right away. Whoever did this had never been caught committing a crime before. They had no DNA or fingerprints to be matched to. None. And they could not tell the people of Lennon who did it. They didn't know. We don't know who did it. It's been a cold case now for 24 years as to who killed that lady. Now, let me go over to here. Well, back here, actually, and pull this here up. This is from the case. Oh, my bad. 88. I thought she was 83. 88-year-old Lennon woman remains unsolved 21 years later. Mary Pryor. On February 27, 1997, 88-year-old Mary Pryor was brutally beaten and suffocated in Lennon, Michigan. Her body was discovered in a swampy wooden area near Lennon Road and east of M13. That's the highway, approximately 150 yards from her home. Lennon, Michigan. It's been 21 years to the day that 88-year-old Mary Pryor was found in a swampy wooded area less than 200 yards from her Lennon home. Over the years, billboards have gone up and door hangers placed on homes in the community, as well as police finding DNA that confirmed that Pryor was sexually assaulted prior to her death. But Pryor's killer remains unknown. A staple in the Lennon community that was often seen walking her dog Pookie while on her way to grab some grub at a local bar. That was the bar that I was speaking of, right across from her house. Pryor's body was found at 2 p.m. February 27, 1997, in the area of Lennon Road and M13. Her brother-in-law called police around noon that day after finding the door to Pryor's residence ajar and the dog inside, but no signs of Pryor. According to Flint Journal records, Michigan State Police K-9 team taking part in training in the area responded to a scene. A trooper and K-9 officer spotted her body wrapped in a blanket, roughly 2 hours after her disappearance was reported. An autopsy revealed Pryor, a regular attendee at multiple churches, including St. Mary's and Swartz Creek and St. Robert's in Flushing, had been suffocated and beaten in the head. Community members rallied after Pryor's murder, putting together a $20,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction for the responsible person or persons. Everybody is still wondering if the people who did it are here, said Barbara Baker, or whatever that name is, an attorney and current Lennon Village president who helped establish the reward fund in February 1998. Flint Journal story. They're worried it could be one of their neighbors and how to continue on and ensure it won't happen again. The money was eventually returned to those who donated after no arrest took place within a few months' time. A native Czechoslovakian, Pryor came to the United States when she was 8 years old, according to journal records. Pryor opened the candy business, Sweet Marie's, after adding onto the house at Chippewa and Lewis Streets in Flint she shared with her husband, James. James Pryor told the Flint Journal for a March 1997 story his wife learned to make candy in Owasso, um, where she was a student at St. Paul's until dropping out in the 8th grade to help her sister and brother through school. She was just the sweetest, kindest lady, said Gloria Schramm, Schreier's neighbor, in February 2012. Genesee County Undersheriff Chris Swanson previously told M Live, the Flint Journal, that DNA from items in the, I don't know what the hell that's saying, items in the case, including jewelry and clothing, were sent to the same year to a laboratory in Virginia to build a profile or a potential suspect profile. Swanson has stated he hopes to keep a promise made to Pryor's sister to track down the person responsible for her loved one's death. I made a promise to her sister, he said. I'll never ever forget. A reward of up to $2,500 is being offered by Crime Stoppers for information leading to a felony arrest. Anyone with a tip may remain anonymous by calling the number 1-800-422-JAIL, that's 5245, or leaving the information at p3tips.com. Well, there you go. And there that is. So, that was the murder of Mary Pryor. Now, that one was given to me. It was. A lady, you know who she is, had called and, well, she didn't call, she emailed and sent that case to me and asked me if I thought it looked like Thomas Jerome Bruce, like his work. And immediately, I mean, it was given the brutality. It was really given the brutality of the matter. An 88-year-old woman. And I want you to consider who would go hurt and beat an 88-year-old woman? You know, that it's like, and sexually assault her. That is an evil person. It's also a person that had never been arrested before. Now, this is what led me to believe this is Thomas Jerome Bruce. He lived right there. He drank in Lynn. He drank in his hometown Montrose that was just right up the highway. I'll get right to that in a minute when I go to Ann Pate's murder. He was drinking at the bar. He walked out. He probably knew who she was, had seen her, probably walked over to her house with her, and went on from there. You know, it was opportunity. You see where I'm at? This is the kind of person that he is. Now, let me go back on Ann Pates. She's a younger lady. This happened 2 years later. Oh, well, I got to go pull that one up. Give me a second. Oh, whoa, what? What? There we go. Yeah. This is Ann Pates. Reward increased for tips in unsolved 1999 murder. Oh, wait. Let me go back here. This here is Lennon, right here. Lennon, Michigan. Oh, well, it gets smaller. But if you go straight up the highway, right here, going north, there it is, Montrose. Right here is Montrose. And this is his hometown. I think it says 12 miles north of Lennon. This is where Thomas Jerome Bruce grew up, was in Montrose, Michigan. He attended school in Flint, and this is where he was living, was in Flint. Oh, well, it took the thing down, but he was like living like right in here. Now, he was, to what I believe, that ain't it, man. Where in the hell did that go? Oh, is that Montrose? No, it's Saginaw. Where in the hell? Hello, man. I lost Montrose. Anybody? Man. Thank you. There we go. Now, let me go back over here and back up to Montrose here. Now, this is where he grew up at. Now, in 1999, approximately, let's see. This is the case of Ann Pates. I can't really read that right there very well, but this was her. She was, I think, 23. Yeah, she was 23 years old. Happened on July 2nd, 1999. July 2nd. Wow. Guy always hits like right by like holidays. Genesee County, Michigan. A donation from an outside source has upped the reward to $4,000 being offered by Crime Stoppers of Flint and Genesee County for information leading to an arrest in an unsolved murder case dating back nearly 20 years. Ann Pates, 23, was driving from Saginaw to the Montrose area around 2 a.m., July 2nd, 1999, when she went missing. Her body was found by a jogger around 7:45 a.m., July 2nd, 1999, on the side of Farron Road in Thetford Township. The location was roughly 15 miles from where her 1995 champagne-colored Ford Couture was found on M57. Hold on. This is M57 right here. And that was about 2 miles east of. I mean, we're like out into here somewhere. I would think about in here. Okay, her car was found at 2:40 a.m. the same morning. Okay, kind of spaced that out, but according to Flint Journal records, it had sustained damage to the right rear quarter panel, but was still operational. DNA of an unknown man was found on Pate's ring. Michigan State Police said that they believe she punched her attacker in the nose. The DNA from the ring was put into a national database in 2009. Michigan State Police Lieutenant David Kaiser previously told MLive, the Flint Journal, that dozens of tips have come forward in her since her death, including a September 2nd, 2016, when a suspect was arrested on homicide and rape charges in connection to Pate's death. However, the suspect's DNA wound up not being a match, and the murder case remains open. Now, hold on. I do want to touch upon that real quickly. In that case, and I have the records, I have the records that I can show you, and I will put them on a video, but I'm just saying they exist. Now, what happened was they went to this guy's house because they had a tip and they believed that he had something to do with it. They had a search warrant, okay? And that search warrant was in regards to a knife. Now, they didn't state in there how she died, but in the arrest warrant, it states this, okay, or in the search warrant, because they was looking for a knife that had slit her neck open. Now, what they did find in this guy's house was a handgun. Now, he went to court over this, saying they found a headgun when they was looking for a knife, you know? So, I mean, he got out on that. His DNA didn't match, nor did he have the weapon, you know, but that's how that came out, that her neck was sliced open with a knife. So I want to point that out because this is something that you'll start to see. It usually involves the neck. Okay, however, the suspect's DNA wound up not being a match, and the murder case remains open. Kaiser commented Thursday afternoon that he was not aware of any recent tips. Anyone with information on Pate's murder is asked to contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-422-JAIL. That's 5245. Or on the P3 Tips app whatever p3tips.com. Remember that. So here we are. And this is about where this happened. It was, let me see if, let me take that down some. Okay, that would be a mile. So we go about out in here. About out in here is where it happened, approximately in here. It's about 2.5 miles east of Montrose. Oh, yeah, you guys couldn't even see that, could you? Yeah, I'm sorry. You see, I was sitting there playing around with the map, and apparently nobody could see that. But anyway, at 2 a.m., what happens at 2 a.m.? Bars close at 2 a.m. So did the one in Montrose, because in 1999, it was a one-bar town. Now, I know one man that is going to be drinking at his hometown, and that is, of course, Thomas Jerome Bruce. Now, when I called that in to Crime Stoppers, oh, yeah, I seen that, Sean. Yeah, sorry. But anyways, when I called that into him, they did say that somebody else had already turned his name in. Now, that's cool, because it's really cool that somebody else turned his name in, because my thought was, great, then I'm not alone. I'm not the only person seeing this. But then I asked the lady if it had recently been turned in, and she's like, well, we can't tell you that. We can't tell you anything about that. So I'm like, okay, and I thanked her a lot, because it was really good to know. But again, here's my thoughts on Ann Pates. He was at the bar that night in Montrose, left at about 2 a.m. when the bar was closing. Everybody said bye, peace, got in their cars and left. Now he's taking 57 back to Flint. His cars broke down. Of course, he didn't have a cell phone in 1999. Probably pulled over, says, hey, can I help you? I mean, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I was heading into Montrose. You know what? Just came from there. I'll turn right back around. We can go right back. She got in, and that was the doom, because it was opportunity for him. He's seen her sitting there and says, I can help get away with this, no problem, and did. Now, I don't know, but I should, but I don't know how it is that this guy left his DNA and fingerprints everywhere. I don't think that Evansdale. But again, I'm going to say off the bat that those fingerprints and DNA was there, but it's just a matter that in every case, Delphi, Mary Pryor, Ann Pates. I mean, if you look at Susan Collins, and I'm not saying he did that, but if Barry Scheck's right, and I'm not calling Barry Scheck a liar, if he was at that base, he would be my first and real only, person of interest in that. And they executed Smedley Alley, man, and that was back in 06. 06. So they killed the wrong guy, and they know they killed the wrong guy. And Barry Scheck knows they killed the wrong guy. And if I had any ample evidence, I'd be stating that he killed her. But right now, it just goes in inconclusive, because I don't have anything that I can point to. Well, I mean, I can point at the brutality of it. I mean, whoever did that was just not right, man. It's the same as like beating an old lady. Why? Well, the same thing applies in this case. And I think that that's one thing that he really, seeked in all of it, was that, the brutality, the humiliation, on a female. Didn't matter the age. Matters not the age. I mean, the one thing that stands out as profoundly odd, man, bizarre, is the fact that there was two young girls that showed up, and not only showed up, but started crossing Monon High Bridge, on the reverse date of Evansdale. The very same applied. And I just find that so coincidence, so bizarre, that it would happen like that it could happen like that. But it did, and that's what brought most people, not all, but most people, into really looking at this guy. Well, excuse me, into that case, really, because if you live local to Delphi, or if you're from a small town and something like this happens, it grabs you, you think like, wow, it's two young girls, man. Two young girls that was doing what two young girls do, man, out hiking, having fun, never should have been messed with. Nothing should have happened to them, man. It should have been the furthest thing, to ever happen. But there it was, there it was, and it happened. And it's like this world news, because of all places in the world where it happened, it was right in the little bitty town of Delphi. Little bitty town of Delphi. If you go to Indiana and you look at really small county seats, Delphi is probably going to be number one. 3,500 people in a county seat. It's insane. But that's why, we started like really looking at this case. And we was just, when it was me and Greeno, we was just following along with, what law enforcement was saying, because we didn't know anything different. And we was commenting on kind of our thoughts, like, on these pictures when they originally came out. I'm like, well, the guy's definitely bundled up for it being about 55 at that time. It was every bit of 52, 55, right about that time. And he had on a shirt, a sweater, a jacket, and it looked, and I don't think it's just the clothes. I think that there's stuff in there. I think that he's got clothes on that puffs it out. He's way overdressed. And it's my thought is because, one, he knew what he wanted to do to whomever, and it matters not. I mean, I'm not really bringing the girl's name up into it right now because it could have been, may have been, possibly been somebody else or other people or other women, but in knowing what he was going to do, and I think that the cause of death was probably knife, I believe. And I think that he knew what was going to happen. And I think that he wore a second pair of clothes, under his top clothes for that reason. Because if anything was the splash get on him, and people all the time, well, did flannel shirt guy say he was wet? Did he say he was bloody? Well, no, man. If he's seen a bloody guy walking by, man, the first thing that would have crossed his mind when he was talking to Derek was, hey, I just seen a bloody guy walk by. He was under no suspicion by flannel shirt guy. So, man, this chair, it leans back too far. It's just uncomfortable to sit like this. Just is. It's like I'm leaning back. Anyway. So let me get back to this here. See, back over to here. Right. So if I go back, now here's Montrose, and this is about where it happened here, on the highway at 2:00 or like 2 in the morning or shortly after 2. So, and if I go back, because if you go from Montrose here to Flint here, it's going to take 57 and down, of course. The exact path followed. And that is where he was living. That is where he was drinking. And Ann Pates is the next woman that he killed. Now, what I find odd, but maybe not, is because there's 2 right there in Genesee County. And I searched other counties, and I was searching for anything that kind of reminisced toward what he would do, in Michigan. Those were the 2 that I found that was very conclusive that it was him, quite. So now, well, what the hell? Wasn't I on again? Hey, Donnie, man, what's going on, dude? Hey. It's same old, Donnie. All the time, same old. Now, I speculate to the fact, and somebody please correct me where I'm wrong here, but I think that most people know what happened in Delphi, that 2 girls died, because that's the one thing that ties most everybody now to this channel, is because that's all I really talk about is Delphi. That's it. I shut down my old channel. Well, it got shut down. But even at that, man, since February of 2017, I've only been talking Delphi on my channel. The other, that could wait. That could go. That could wait. Delphi couldn't, though. Delphi is like 2 young girls right here, man. This is capital world news. Happened right here, So that took all of my attention to that case, and many other people. I mean, if I'm going over a list of true crime people, look, man, I can tell you many names, many names. And like, I don't even go most of their channels. You know, it ain't that I don't, but it's very rare, or they're probably not talking about Delphi, or I'm one if they are, something like that. But I really don't go watch videos of Delphi. Really don't. And people will come to me or message me, hey, did you see this video? No, I'm not even looking for that video. The last thing that's going to pop up on my YouTube is the Delphi murders, you know, because I'm not looking for that. You know, I go to Google when I'm like seeking information where I can like, you know, go through and find that. But I'm not really using YouTube as an investigative guide. You know, I don't go watch other people's stuff and then hop on that train. You know, I just keep it to what we logically know occurred, what we can logically believe, you know, they've done since, and like sketch, you know, we got to follow what law enforcement and what we know that law enforcement has. Uh, I don't really know. I don't know. You're talking about the sketch of the younger guy. Now, from my understanding, when police talk about it, I don't really know. I mean, I would speculate it would be a person, right? That they would say gave the details for that second sketch, the younger looking sketch, the one without a hat on, which he had, you know, that one. But here's the thing: I only know of two people that seen him. One that spoke with him, the lady walking her dogs. Flower shirt guy was the other one. Anybody outside of that seen him, I don't know who they are. I have no idea. And if it was after he killed the girls, why would he stand around and talk to them? What they do, see him and go, "Oh, that guy just killed people"? No, no, quite contrary, Monfrero. It didn't happen like that at all. One person really had the details. That's the lady that was walking her dog. The lady that gave the details for the first sketch, that was her. That's why it looks like Thomas Burroughs, because that's who she saw. That is who she saw, was Thomas Burroughs. I know that. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to inform you. Now, let's go to Evansdale. Now, what's important about Evansdale is this. Hold on. Let me pull this back up. Now, see, I didn't do it right. I didn't do it right at all. There we go. Let's go to Evansdale. Wait, where the hell is it? Yeah, where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Now, hold on, because I want to get this on here so you know. This is where he was living at that time. In 2012, this was his address right here. Right there on Lacklink Road in St. Louis. Now I'm going to get directions and take that to Evansdale, Iowa. It's like 351 miles. You know what? It's a little bit shorter to Delphi. Not much. Probably 200 and some miles. Anywho, so this is the route there. Now this right here takes was that 380? Man, I can't see where this show. Here up to Evansdale. Now, what's important about this is that Thomas Jerome Bruce had lost a job 1 month prior to the Evansdale murders. He lost a job at Shuck's Grocery in St. Louis, a very long-term job, 1 month prior to Evansdale. Now, in Evansdale, this happened on Friday the 13th. Now, that is by superstition a bad luck day, but I wonder how much thought went into the fact of, hey, I'm going to go out on this day and, you know, do bad things. You know, I wonder if he was traveling from St. Louis to Minnesota and stopped in and it happened, or since he had lost a job, that he had went there, purposely because it was a small trail that he knew from traveling to Minnesota, that he could go there and seek opportunity. So it's one or the other like that. Now, in this case, hold on. Man, I got to get my glasses so I can see this. Like worth a shit. Okay, so now let me go right back to here for a second. And let me take out Black Link Road. Now, oh, by the way, he was living in the same spot, I do believe, when Delphi occurred, like 5 years later. He had moved out to Imperial 1 month before, or 1 year before his arrest. So it was like 6 months or so, maybe 6, 7, 8 months, where he was still living at Lacklink before moving out to Imperial over here. Now, let me take out Lacklink Road and put in 7 Bridge. Illinois. What the hell, man? Was it 7? Okay, yeah, all right, there we go. Now, this is where the girls' bodies were found. This right here, right there. This is Myers Lake. Nope, that's Harrison Lake. Where'd Myers Lake? Oh, there's Myers Lake, right here. Now, if you go from here, Myers Lake, which was approximately here, about where the girls were abducted, or where the car was at that the suspect used, and then you travel that up here to Seven Bridges Park. This is where the girls' bodies were found, in a creek, right down here, right down here. This is where the girls' bodies were found. I can't really pronounce that river. I could if I sat and tried to, but it's a river. And this right here is woods, basically used by hunters. Now, I believe that he had drove in, and that this right here was more or less that area, if you know what I mean. And he probably took them down there, and that's where they were murdered, I would believe. Like right down there. It's a very sad case. Like, very sad. Now, I want to go down here. Somewhere down in here. Now, this guy here was a suspect. Was his name Michael Klunder or something like that? He was a suspect. It's not that he looks cool. The guy really looks like that kind of a guy. He really does. But, of course, it was shown that he did not do it. Now, I want to point this out, too. Now, right here, the offender profile concluded in part that the offender is familiar with both Meyer Lake, Angel Park, and Seven Bridges Wildlife Area in Bremer County. Now, I believe that that's true. I do, and I'll tell you why. I believe that he was familiar with Myers Lake Park because I think he had stopped there many times, just like Monon High Bridge Park. It was a small trail, traveled, but not heavily. If somebody was to walk by that you could abduct, probably somebody else isn't going to be right behind them. It's just like Monon High Bridge. If somebody goes through there and you've been there before, probably nobody's going to be behind them for another hour or so. It's just not that traveled. It gives them a sense of, I can do this, not get caught and leave. Now, I believe he was familiar with that. I think he also knew about Seven Bridges Wildlife Area, but I don't think that makes him local. It's the exact same as them saying that they now feel that the person that pulled off Delphi is between the ages of 18 and 40 and lives around Delphi, hiding in plain sight. Well, I know that's bullshit. And if you don't know it's bullshit, you should know it's bullshit. Hold on. I'm telling you, that's bullshit. Okay. So, yeah, in both cases, they try to make it look as if the person's from there. Now, right there in Evansdale, they don't have a sketch. They didn't have anybody that's seen the suspect. They have a car they feel that may have been used by the suspect, but that's really what they got. I don't think they got DNA or fingerprints because of how long after the fact the girls' bodies were found. It was like 6 months through the summer and into the winter. So, probably the best thing that they could go by on that right there, aside of the statistics that involve it to Delphi, is probably the signatures. Now, I believe since 3 signatures minimally were left in Delphi at the crime scene by the suspect, I'm saying the exact same person did both Iowa and Delphi. Now, if he left 3 signatures in Delphi, he likely left same signatures or varying signatures in Iowa. And I think that that right there can also kind of help law enforcement kind of narrow in and get him on that. Now, also on this, and it isn't on, oh wait, might be right here. Right here. The suspect may have been experiencing stress related to legal troubles, spousal problems, employment difficulties, financial strain, or mental health issues in July 2012. That's when Evansdale happened. Let me tell you something. Anybody that would go abduct 2 little girls, take them off, and murder them, they weren't experiencing mental problems that month. They had had that for an extensively long time. And that is Evansdale, for the most part. Now, I go back one more time on this because it is an FBI statistic. You can look this up. You can look it up. I'm not going to be quoting it like word for word, so don't try to like quote me, to the thing. But I think it was since 1974 in this country, there have been 16 cases that involved 2 minor girls being abducted and murdered during daylight hours. Now, of those 16, Evansdale and Delphi make up 2 of them. Now, at least half of them have been solved by the FBI because they point out that at least half, which would be 8, was committed by family or friends of the family. Now, this leaves the other half, and we know 2 of those are unsolved, and I don't know about the rest, but that would make 6 remaining. Now, I know that one of those, at least one of those, would have been somebody other than friends or family. But it's normally done by friends or family because who's going to go abduct 2 girls in the daytime, to go, it's normally never like that unless it's a family member or a friend of the family who thinks they can go get away with it. You see where I'm at? Now, we turn our focus to Delphi. I believe everybody knows what happened in Delphi. If not, raise your hand. It's me. I don't know. Well, 2 young girls, Abby and Libby, were murdered on February 13, 2012. Now, I'm going to type this in there so that people understand. Understand what I say when I say reversible date. This is not hard. 7th month is July, 13th day, and that was in 2012. 1, 2, 5-digit date, 7/13/12. That means July 13th, 2012. Got it? Now, if you reverse that date, take that whole date and turn it this way, you get 2/13/17. 2/13/17. And that, February 13th, 2017, is the date of the Delphi murders. Not a coincidence. Both Evansdale and Delphi were done in small towns, outside of small towns, at small trails outside of small towns. Both trails set right next to a highway. Right next to a highway. Okay? They were done on reversible dates. In both cases, 2 minor girls were abducted. In both cases, those 2 minor girls were murdered. by the suspect. And when the bodies were found at a time later than the day that they disappeared on, in Evansdale or in Delphi, it was the following day. In Evansdale, it was about 6 months later in December of 27 or in 2012 is when the bodies were found. In both cases, the girls' bodies were found by a creek in the woods. Now, that is more than remarkable. That is more than just some heavy statistics. That is the same exact MO done in both cases. In both cases, the exact same MO. That told me right there, after I found out that he drove to Delphi, once I seen that route, I said, this fucker drove. And not only did he drive there, Smart Money now says he's involved in Evansdale. It's more than just similarities. I went and looked at that. They're both the same. The same person committed both. If law enforcement says they didn't, law enforcement's lying to you, because right now they know fully that both were involved by the same guy. Now I'm talking about those that are involved in investigating the cases. I'm not going to say a traffic cop in Delphi knows. What I'm saying is those investigating each case, in both places, now know that the same guy did commit both. They don't say that. They won't tell you that, but they will once it comes out. Once they come out with what they know, then it's coming out. Yes, he did commit both. Now, I don't think that I've missed much on this. And right now, I believe that all we're doing is waiting on the final word. Now, I talked to a good friend the other day on the phone. She calls. It's weird, man. She always calls when I think about her. I don't know what that means. But every time I'm thinking, well, she ain't called in a while, bang, then the phone rings. So I'm sitting here talking to her, and she says, well, I like the idea that you have, man, that they would wait, but why would they wait? I said, well, it's a matter of the timing. Everybody, when I say everybody, most people can recall the day of Delphi, February 13th. Most people remember that. So if you did it on the 13th, on February 13th, it seems like not only would you be solving it and announcing it, it would also add like a closure, to Delphi, because there is a big hole in Delphi. There's a big loss in Delphi. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. Look down in the chat, and I want to show reversible. Oh, shit, man, I misspelled reversible. Screw it. It's going up anyway. That is a reversible date. 7/13/12, July 13th, 2012. With me? Reverse it. Boom. Totally turn it around. Just turn that number around. You get 2/13/17. That's the date of Delphi. February 13th, 2017. Planned. He knew where to go. He knew that was another small trail. Just exactly like Evansdale. He knew he could go there and wait. He knew maybe opportunity would show up. And it did show up. And that's the bizarreness of it. It did show up. On that day, 2 young girls went to that bridge and crossed. It's crazy that it happened like that, but it did. And it's mind-blowing to me. Now, those are the ones that I can say, yeah, he did this. There is no question in my mind. If I had to throw out, look, if I had $1 billion, I'd throw $1 billion to everybody on it. I'll bet you $1 billion he did it. And it will come out. It will. Now, person, because believe me, I've thought about this. Larry Hall. If you don't know who Larry Hall is, he was a identical twin brother that lived in Wabash, Indiana, had raped and killed a bunch of women. Okay. Now he's doing life without parole in Illinois for transporting a dead body across state lines over to Indiana to dump it. So they got him for kidnapping and transporting a body, hit him with the federal charge, and gave him life without parole. Now I put to the test, and I said, the person that comes closest to the person that they should be looking at for the abduction and murder of, what was her name? Denise Flum, was Larry Hall, because he was down there at that time. I talked to somebody very close that was I talked to somebody that knew that case very extremely well. I can't go, I don't want to put it in different words than that. I talked to a person that on the phone that knows that case very, very, very well. And they told me that they had drove from where she lived to the part where she got abducted and said in both cases, the north way and the south way, both were 21 minutes. Said I drove both of those directions many, many times. It's always 21 minutes. Now, I felt because how it was the only place she had to stop was at that four-way stop. I thought she stopped at that four-way stop. That's where the abduction was. Right there's her car right beside that. And they were gone. The farmer went by at 1 o'clock. She left the house at 12:30, 21 minutes. This says that right after the abduction, they had her parked there, took her away, and that farmer went by and seen her car. That quick. Who'd they arrest? Way after the fact. Her old boyfriend, Sean McClung. He admitted, I did it. I had help. I killed her in the heat of the moment. We was broke up, but I murdered her and hid her body with the help of friends. Nobody else was arrested for helping him, nor did they find Denise Flum's body. And oh, he died. But we solved the case. Bullshit. I say Sean McClung did not do it. And if I was talking to the cop down there, I'd say, you're a liar and you know it. Then show me the body. Oh, we didn't get to that? Well, you gave him a charge so light that if he didn't die, he'd already be out on probation. Now, I say all this for this reason. He's doing live, Larry Hall. And when you call down there and they tell, well, he says he didn't do it. He's a murderer. Did he tell you all the rest he did? He didn't. Maybe you should go back and talk to this guy because he was down there. And he would always go back and then hit the areas where him and his brother had did Civil War reenactments. This is what he would do. Now, why didn't they go talk to him? No, they arrest this guy, play it to everybody. Oh, we solved the case. I say bullshit. Sean McClung did not do it. I think he was a drunk. He was dying and he had said a bunch of shit to get some attention. That landed him in jail. Did he do it? No, I don't think he did. I don't think he did at all. I ain't saying Larry Hall did it exactly, but I'm saying Sean McClung didn't do it, or they would have had a lot more information out to the public. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just telling you the way it is. Now, what bothers me is this. Now convicted in St. Louis, Thomas Jerome Bruce is doing life without parole. Life without parole. Life without parole. Now, we got a lot of cases, man, that need closure. Are they going to go follow through on these cases? I mean, couldn't they just be like, well, the guy's doing life without parole. He paid. Now we ain't got to spend any money and, we'll just close the case after a couple of years. We just won't say nothing. I thought about that. Then I watched Doug Carter, head of the Indiana State Police. We won't rest till we find you. We're keeping this close to us so we don't lose this case. You want to know what we got? You're going to find out. Now, if they're going to stand on that, if they're standing to their word, then we can expect Thomas Jerome Bruce to be brought up on charges for Delphi, and I would expect the identical for Evansdale. Now, I fully believe, because I know that both were turned in for Ann Pates. That was somebody else, not me. I did call in Ann Pates, but I called in and I talked to Sheriff Chris Swanson. Chris Swanson, the sheriff. He was the undersheriff, now sheriff. God, he's so inspirational. When you know what? When you talk to that guy, you feel like $1 million. It wasn't even me, man. I mean, he says this. He goes, I will go down and talk to him. He says, I'll go down and talk to him. He goes, you know what? I'll give you a call in a month. I said, wait, you can't go down and talk to him. What do you mean I can't go talk to him? So he's down there on first-degree murder. I said, don't you remember Daniel Nations? I mean, you can't go talk to him now. He's all like, well, when I do go down and talk to him, he goes, and if he's convicted, I'll be on your show. Yes. So look at it down the road, at least a year or two down the road, I will have Sheriff Chris Swanson on my show, and it would have to be after the conviction so that he could open up and really talk about the cases, because when it's going to court, they can't, if you see what I mean. They don't want to release information that could, hurt or, the case. So after he's convicted on that, then yeah, I believe Sheriff Chris Swanson will be on my show. That'd be so cool. I think everybody would get a real kick out of that guy, man. He's such a smooth talker. He's so good, such a good guy. I don't even like law enforcement, but I really enjoyed talking to him. Boy, I did. He's a good guy, man. So I sat here for an hour talking. Didn't stop for an hour. It's rare that I do that, but you can ask Puppy, I do. I will just sit here and talk to him for an hour. Remember that one time, Puppy? I'll never forget, man, as long as I'm around. So now that, oh, you freezing up? Man, I hope it ain't on my end, Layla. But anyways, that is my comments for this week. And that is what my mouth looks like up close. Scary, isn't it? Yeah. I wouldn't want to be up close in my mouth. All right. Man, I like this hat though, man. This hat is really looking good. I'm starting to like this hat now. I really am. I had that new hat thing, but now I'm starting to really like the hat. I guess it's seeing yourself in it for a while. I didn't like myself in glasses until I realized I didn't look like me without them. So anyway, there that is. I did that in an hour. If anybody has any questions or anything that I have talked about or any of the cases that I've talked about or anything as such, throw them up now. I'd like to get through the rest of this time just answering questions and making nice comments toward good comments. By the by, if you have not hit the like button, you got a few seconds and I'm going to give them to you. So don't do other stuff. Don't go grab a snack. Hit that like button down there. You hit the like button, it helps me out. And here I am trying to help you out. So, it'd be like a trade-off. You help me out, I'll help you. Hit the like. And if you're not subscribed, you're missing everything. Hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed. And then go right above it, hit the little bell icon, because that's going to notify you of whatever I do. Anything I'm doing, anything I'm going to do, you're going to be directly notified of it. You get a notification. They'll tell you, hey, he's out walking his dog right now. He'll be back in a minute. So anyway, yeah, hit that like button, man. You'd be helping me out. Thank you very kindly. You still think it's Chadwell, do you, Deborah? Good deal. It's Chadwell. Look, man, I ain't even going to touch on Chadwell. If people believe it's Chadwell, it's because they're watching other news. Let them go watch that. Go watch that. But remember, I know the guy had never gotten caught before. So if you're over there watching that, remember, you're not watching anything real as it pertains to Delphi. And this is what it does. It makes people, just like you, Iva, believe it's Chadwell. Oh, wait, that ain't Chadwell. Deborah, my bad. Sorry, Iva. Sorry, just like you, Deborah, you're going to think it's Chadwell. Well, that's good. You think it's Chadwell. Do I think he liked him younger or older or both? You know what? This is my take on it, and this is what I wrote to him. This is what I wrote to Thomas Jerome Bruce. Because in regards to Evansdale and Delphi, those were minor girls, young girls, little girls, and we definitely look, well, I mean, because it doesn't matter. Murder is murder. But believe me, if somebody goes and kills a young girl, like that, that really sticks in our hearts, that they would go do that to like an innocent girl. So, and when I wrote to him, I was like, I don't really, well, there's some parts of that I don't really want to touch upon. I mean, it's not like time to touch upon that, but it will come in down the road. But I was telling it, yeah, and again, you know what? I really can't touch upon that right now, and I'm sorry. I was going a bit, and I forgot what the hell I was talking about. Well, no, I remember what I was talking about. What I mean is, like, I don't want to touch upon those aspects of the case because that is really speculative, and right now, I don't want to discuss anything on that. You're welcome, Sean. I thank you for being here, man. Really do. Uh, well, yeah, of course, man. He just got convicted last Friday. He's still in jail there, and he will be until they send him to prison. No, it will be until they send him to prison. Now they could extradite him, but I don't know that they're going to do that while he's in jail. They would probably already take him to prison, assign him his number and so on like that, and then extradite. But, and again, I mean, this is me. They would probably have him in prison within a month of his conviction, because I was in RDC within 30 days. Within 30 days, they came and got me, and was like taken to RDC. So I don't think that he's going to be sitting around the jail through this time. However, they will take him to prison. Now, when they take him into prison, when they file charges, because that's likely where they will go, unless they've already sent people to talk to him before he goes to prison. I don't know how they do that, or how they're going to do that, or anything like that. But they will talk to him. So that could be while he's in jail. It could be when he's down in prison. I don't think they would wait that long. I know Indiana wants charges quickly as possible. It's been 3 years, and Delphi has been over 5 years. They've probably been just, for 3 years, like, God, man, really? 3 years, that's how long they had to wait. The whole city of Delphi, Indiana, the world is waiting on this. And believe me, when this breaks, when it does break, when this happens, and it will happen, he will be known as one of the biggest serial killers from the Midwest. Straight up, man. I mean, there's been some serial killers. I mean, you got like BTK. I mean, you got Jeffrey Dahmer, Gacy. That was up there. I don't think he killed over 32, but he might have. He had 11 years in California. Look at opportunity, man. There kind of lies. I don't really know how many as the overall goes that, he really did. I mean, right now I can state 6 with a possible 7th. I also say that it is without evidence, except for the time that he moved to St. Louis, which was in 2003. That's when the East St. Louis serial murders started happening. Same time when he moved down there. Now, I don't think that that's a coincidence, because if you're a guy that wants to serial murder, sadistically serial murder, well, if you can't go out in St. Louis and find an opportunity, you can definitely go pick up a hooker. You see where I'm at? And take them someplace, do what you want, because if they don't return, who's turning them in? You see where I'm at? It's a hooker. You can take her off, humiliate her, do whatever you want to do, and murder her. So that kind of played in as possible. I don't know. That's like Susan Collins. Can't say he did. But, given the evidence, I would say there's a strong reason to believe that it could be. So I think it'd be like California, Michigan, Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, maybe. I mean, there was one I was looking at in southern Illinois, right outside of St. Louis. That could have been one of his. East St. Louis, Illinois, Missouri, and Tennessee. I mean, those are states where I could say it's possible he killed, right there. In Michigan, Iowa, and Indiana, I know. Oh, and also Missouri. But, the other ones I'm just looking at, but I know that I have not touched anywhere near what Thomas Jerome Bruce has done. Nothing, not even close. The 6 I'm looking at, probably right off the top, man. He's probably got like a lot under him. Well, you know what? Thank you. Yeah. Great people in Delphi. Actually, most of central Indiana around here. I mean, I can't complain about people. Well, I can. There's a lot of young people, man. I can't sleep at night without I just want to take a baseball bat, go outside and take people's lights out of their cars. I forgot. I assume people will stand by me. The man couldn't sleep. The millennials just kept that fucking shit going. He got tired. Your Honor. He got tired of it. That'd be me. Correct. Just one. How many did Obama say? 52. One of 52 states we got. There are a lot of problems here in Pennsylvania too, Michael. Oh yeah, such as Sean, if you care to expound upon that a touch. Because I'm out of comments. Ain't nobody asking questions. You just talk for like an hour. People enjoy that. Puppy likes it every here and again. Dave, man, what up, Dave? Dave Welsh dropping in. Play some drums, man. Should have brought some drums. Should have brought some drums with you, Dave. So, unless anybody's got questions, and you know what, last Saturday I had questions out the ass. Everybody was asking questions. It was a good time, man. No questions. Jeez. Wow. Save. Don't need that. All right, anybody? Oh wait, may we see Puppy, please? Yes. As soon as I'm done. Yeah, it's going pretty good. Thank you, Connor. Roy Greer was investigating Jerry Sandusky and disappeared in 2005. That'll happen. I hope I don't disappear. If I do, I know where I'll be. Well, yeah, I mean, I still do. I mean, if somebody's coming to Indiana, I mean, if you're going to be here around, man, let me know ahead of time, man. We'll hook it up, man, where we can meet out there. We can go out, see the area. Yeah, absolutely. Like anytime, anybody coming out, man, let me know. Right up here is my email, right there. It's not hard to remember. Mr. Cat 420. That's easy to remember. Just remember, there was 419 Mr. Cats before I got there. Nothing capitalized. Mr. Cat 2 T's 420 at gmail.com. Mr. Cat 420. That's me at gmail.com. You email me, you let me know you're coming. I'll be there. I'll be right there. Show you around. Wait a minute. Well, you know what? This is my thought, Lollipop. I think that it was concluded because I did look into that. I really did. I thought, well, why did they arrest the guy? Why did they rule him out? You know, and I think it was for the reason of like he had a real alibi. He was not there, you know, and they knew like in looking at that yeah he wasn't there, you know, he was not even there at that time. So I mean they did rule him out, but you're right. They don't have a lot of evidence. I think that the biggest thing that they can go on in Evansdale would probably be the sightings by witnesses of the vehicle that they feel that he used. Also, you know, if there was any signatures that was left at the crime scene at the where the bodies were left at, you know, anything like that. You also look at the circumstances and how that relates to Delphi. And again, I'm going to a side here because there are things kind of being overlooked. You know, I feel, and just hear me out. I feel that Thomas Bruce did this. Now he lost the job 1 month prior to when the murders happened in Evansdale. So okay, and again, he lost a job, and I don't know that he purposely did that. I don't know that he left signatures. But the one thing, and if you look at it and you go look into these people, go look up sadistic serial killers, you will find that being sadistic, they want to keep reliving it, reliving that time, that moment. So they're the ones that go out, take pictures or video of it, and keep it. Now, again, if they went in under his house in Imperial, Missouri, and what they pulled out, if it had any pictures, any video, anything like that regarding those cases, that's a freaking lock. I mean, and you can't really overlook that, because if he did take any pictures, video, and look, and again, I'm stating this for the record, I believe that he did. I would go as far as to say that he did in Delphi. He did in Delphi. Be it video, pictures, I would believe video. I believe that he got that. Now, I don't know whether they found it, but if they did find that, there that would be. Yeah, give me a minute. Yeah. Well, now he just got convicted in St. Louis Friday, Jerry. I mean, he went in and pled guilty down there. So now all states that want any to speak to him concerning any murders can now go do that. So are they going to charge him in Delphi? Yes, they will. Positively. He'll be charged. Same with the other ones I'm talking about here. Mary Pryor, Ann Pates, Evansdale. He'd be charged with them. What? Where in the hell you been, Smooth? Where in the hell have you been? I've seen you here. I know I've seen you here. How could you have missed that? How could you have missed that, man? Yeah, connected, same guy, Thomas Jerome Bruce, Evansdale, Delphi. Yeah, man, I don't know how you missed that, dude. Hell, I did a whole thing on the connection, the similarities between Evansdale and Delphi. Man, how could you have missed that, dude? Yeah. Me. I said Thomas Jerome Bruce didn't have any in the system. Well, they can get one. I mean, believe me, when they go in to talk to him concerning Delphi, look, man, Thomas Jerome Bruce knows he got him. He knows full well, man. I mean, this is my belief. This is why he wanted police suicide. When he did Catholic Supply Store, he knew he was hit for it. He knew he wasn't getting away with it. He knew they was going to be at his house. He knew. He was right next door drinking. Here's my business card. Look how I'm dressed. Here, I'm going right next door. Go, so yeah, man, they followed like right to him, arrest him, got him on that. Now, yeah, I'm telling you, when they go down there concerning Delphi and all the rest, he's gonna be, yeah, it was me. I did it. I did. I mean, because there ain't no way out. Now, if he says, yeah, I did Delphi, but I mean, I don't know. I think everybody thinks that he's going to play hard ass. People, when you got a serial murderer sitting in front of you, it don't matter how hard ass they want to be. If you're sitting there with the evidence, you go, yeah, look, it don't matter whether you admit to it or not. I mean, we're still going to file charges, dude. I mean, they got him, and he knows he's it. So, yeah, they can go in and get a confession, and I believe that he's going to confess to everything. I believe that when he goes in there, when they go to talk to him, he's going to be confessing to everything that he knows. And that's it. Whether he wants to die now, I don't know. After he committed Catholic Supply Store, he was looking at the cops coming in. They was going to be firing. They kicked the door in, and he still went out fighting. They still had to hit him. So yeah, he's going to confess. He may have already confessed to what I know. No. How could they take heat? How could they take heat for that? They couldn't tell the public. If they came out and told the public, yeah, we know who did it. Oh, Thomas Jerome Bruce. File charges. Well, we can't. We can't. He's down there. We can't even go talk to him. File charges. File charges. File charges. All right, we'll file charges. Oh, we want a quick and speedy trial. Sorry, he got off on it. Fired a quick and speedy trial like an asshole. Didn't see that coming. They can't file charges until they can go talk to him. Once they can go talk to him, he's no longer under the legal representation on that case, and they can go talk to him. Now, before that, his lawyer would have said, no, not talking to him. Nope, he's under my legal watch, and you are not speaking to him. Piss off. Just like they did with Daniel Nations on 4 minor felonies, the ones that he only did less than 6 months for 4 felonies in jail out there. This guy had 17 felonies. The first one was first-degree murder, and it went down after that. So they wasn't going to go talk to him until he was convicted. Now, they can go talk to him. And charges will be filed. Give it some time. I know I've waited 3 years. What? Oh, Jesus, man. Hey, Brother D, go watch another channel. Go watch another channel, dude. Because you know what? Somebody's filling your head with shit, and I don't want it to be me. You're not getting any truth, dude. Oh, yeah. We was in the same class together. Oh, yeah, I just did. Oh, Grandma, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Calm down, please. Calm down a little bit. Let me get my breath. Center up. All right. Yeah, set up straight for a minute. All right. Sammy the Bull. See, I didn't even know Sammy sung. Well, James Chadwell, Brother D, has a felony record in his past. I'm telling you this because you don't know. You wasn't informed properly. But you see, the Delphi suspect has no criminal record. He'd never been arrested. He has no DNA or fingerprints to be matched to, as he'd never been arrested until they arrested him in St. Louis. Now, if it was, God, Missy, I should have just played the Kim Riley thing. You know, the same one that True Crime Garage calls a news piece. I seen it on the news. They didn't want to give my name because what they do right after he talked about it, turned right back around and mocked my very words. As soon as I heard this, I stated, First time it was ever aired, I knew they was holding fingerprints. What'd he say? When I heard that, I knew they was holding fingerprints. And I'm like, True Crime Garage, this is backside you need to eat. You hear me? You are fucking thieves. Go stick a dick in it. True Crime Garage. A news report. A news report. Well, I thought he had fingerprints after Kim Riley had said that. We're True Crime Garage, and we mimic cat. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you very much for being here, son. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. No need to apologize. No need to apologize. You got to understand. This is my dilemma, Brother D. It is. You see, here it is, man. I have a channel where I try to keep things on the level. Hey, I ain't a broadcaster. I ain't that dude. Believe me, I ain't. But when it comes right straight to common sense, there ain't too many people that prevail above me. There just aren't. There aren't many. I don't see them. I don't recognize them. I don't talk to them in a day's time. But I know this. See, I don't own a television. I don't think I've owned a television in 20 years. You know, I don't sit and watch television. I don't watch the news, you know, anything like that. I don't watch anybody else's channel on Delphi, period, bar none, zero. But what I do, I go out, I find out what's really real, what happened, how this happened, what's going on, how it's going on. Now, I got that question and answer at the first year press conference. You can go look it up on my channel if you want to. It's me talking to Kim Riley. I forget what I named that video. But anyway, it's me asking Kim Riley about their investigation. His reply to me was, well, it's like the suspect had never been caught committing a crime. Maybe, he said, he's done something, but we can find no traces of him. I asked if he was talking about the DNA. Well, I can't speak on that. And I said, right there, this is the greatest question and answer at the first year press conference. That's why I wasn't allowed for the second year press conference. And two, I now know it ain't about DNA. They have fingerprints. They have fingerprints and DNA. Guess what? I was right on both. They had fingerprints and DNA. Called both. They're holding both in Delphi. Now, you say, well, now wait a minute. This Chadwell's a real asshole, a real kid. Did you know what he was doing to a 9-year-old? Yes. He's a real sick son of a bitch, and I hope he gets it right up the ass when he goes to prison. But he has a felony record in his past. You know who would have known exactly who did it? Immediately who did it? Everybody. When they seen that photo, when they heard that voice, and when the FBI looked into his record. They would have said, oh, wait a minute. DNA and fingerprints. It matches this Chadwell in Lafayette. No, Chadwell didn't do it. And people that think he did needs to go watch another channel because it's not going to be displayed here because I don't talk to you like you're a bunch of retards. You're not, or you wouldn't be here right now. Mr. Anderson, did you say Mr. Anderson? Okay, well, I'd talk to Mr. Anderson. I'd say, well, who do you think pulled off Delphi? If he opened his mouth and said Chadwell, you know what? I'd hit him with a handful of lead. I'll say that for the genie. Have who call in? What, Mr. Anderson? I ain't having anybody call in. I don't give a shit what you're calling. They are. Thank you, Monica. I've been on that for like 5 years. Stop listening to these people, man. They are garbage. You know what they're repeating? Everything they freaking hear. That's it. It's a mismatch, man. It's just crap. You will hear everything, man. You know, I've heard Charles Eldridge. You know, I heard that one. What was the other guy? Man, you know what? I'm really lost here. People, help me out with some suspect POI names. There was the DP. I know him, and of course Chadwell. And who was the other one? Who was the other guy that one channel like called Greeno and down to the thing? And I'm all like, God, man, this is the biggest tabloid bullshit in history. I don't know, man. It's just me. It's just me on this. Well, yeah, that's a good question. Oh, wait. Hold on, man. I'll get right back to you in a moment, Susan. Thomas Bruce doing live, so when think he be charged Delphi Cat? Well, here's the thing. You're right. He's doing live, correct? He was convicted Friday. Now, here's the thing. I take you back to many press conferences. When Doug Carter, head of Indiana State Police, says, we're going to get this guy. We will arrest this guy. This guy wants to know what we know, and you will know what we know in short time. You know, all this time they've been swearing. They've been commenting. We'll get him. It's going to happen. Now, here's the big one. Delphi isn't a little case, okay? This isn't a case that nobody had ever heard of before. The whole world's heard about it 3 times over. So they got a lot riding on this to look good. They want the guy that did this. They got the guy that did this. And in short order, I feel before March of 2022, between now and March of 2022, they're coming out with charges on him across the board on everything I've said, plus more that I don't know of. I know, and I'm on your side. I looked. People, you can't find shit in California. It is a bad time looking for any crime in San Diego County, California. There are crimes like that happening right now as I speak, right now out there in California. And if you go looking for them, you won't find crap. I couldn't find anything where a lady was came up missing, was brutal, nothing like that. It was all very family friendly, watered down, dated, look, and it was just like, oh, so-and-so became up, we call her Jane Doe. Well, it didn't give anything on it. Now, if you look at Michigan, Indiana, Missouri, like states like that, they're going to tell you, man, we're looking for this guy. Out there, they just hope he ain't living next door, Yeah, that's me. That's totally me. Yeah, believe me, I seen the downside of television more than 20 years ago. I mean, I was going around with my old dog, Shmoo, and I was just like repeating television to him. Hey, you know what you should buy is some chocolate flavor, because it was funny. It was me mocking the television, and I was going around trying to sell him shit. It was funny. Look, man, if you had smoked a bowl and you was there at the time, you would have seen the humor. So, anywho, man, I lost my wallet out of my pants last week when I was sitting here. It's this chair. You know what? That's a very good question, Smooth. I'm going to give it to you. It's a good question. There you go. Now, here's the thing. If I went into town to a good friend of mine's house and I stopped and him and I got into an argument, and I'm like, yay, listen to me, dick. Pow! And I punched him. Pow! And I took off. I'm like, I'm out of here. Are the cops going to come and talk to me if he called the cops? Yes. They're going to come out and get my statement on what happened. What happened? Was you there? Yes. What occurred? Let me write this down. That's called investigating. You see where I'm at? Now you say they have prints. Well, this is what I say. When Thomas Jerome Bruce was arrested, I think that the crime was done on the 18th or 19th, and he was arrested on the 20th. I think it was, of 2018. Now, when they arrested him, that was the first time he had ever been arrested. Very first time he had ever been arrested. Okay? Now, when they arrested him, and this is my thought, when they arrested him that very first time, and they contacted Carroll County, we got a guy. He looks like your sketch. He was dressed exactly like Bridge Guy was. you know. He had never been arrested before. Yeah, this is their comments to him, not mine. He had no DNA or fingerprints to be matched to. Okay. Now they sent along with that, I'm positive, his mugshot. So Sheriff Lesenby or investigators could go to the people that seen him and give them other pictures as well of other people. Can you point out the guy that you seen that day? Now, both of them said, yes, that's the man right there. That's what I believe happened. Now, you might say, and you might be questioning deep inside your mind like me, how did they know? Was there some cop down there in St. Louis that just heard about the Delphi case? Say, wait a minute. He looks like that sketch. I don't think so. I think what happened was this. His fingerprints came back. And when his fingerprints came back after being fingerprinted as the Delphi unknowns, they said, hey, we might have a murderer here. Let's look this up, see the information, and contact them about this. And that's how it happened. That's exactly how it happened. Now you say, if we have prints, well, screw it, file charges. Well, they could. They could do that. But here's the thing with investigating. If you got a guy that's been out there doing all this and that, and you got a lot of murders on him, and you know this guy has a lot of murders, you're going to send an investigation unit. You're going to go down and you're going to talk to him about what he knows. You're going to bring up the evidence. You're going to get to understand where this guy's head's at, this and that. That's getting statements. That's canvassing. That's understanding. That's what they want. They don't want to say, oh, we're filing charges. We got fingerprints. Screw you. Let's go talk to this guy. Tell him what we got. Show him that, yeah, we got him hands down. Then he can confess. And if he confesses to that, we can start bringing up everything else and start really breaking it down. By the end of the day, we'll know everything. And that's how I figured that it's going to go. It ain't about fingerprints or DNA. They got fingerprints or DNA. They've had them for 3 years. They've had their fingerprints and DNA as a match. But they couldn't tell us that because he's down there on first-degree murder. You think Delphi is bad? Let me tell you something. When you go in there and you do that to 3 women, what he did, that's evil. That's demonic, dude. And yeah, they want that guy. And they want him on all charges, and they want to file him all at one time. And they will right after they question his ass. Thank you, Smooth. Oh, yes, Garrett Kurtz. Man, that was going back. Thanks, Grandma. Yeah, well, see, that's what I was touching on. Yeah, him and me. Yeah, we both got turned in. And we both got the investigator same day. Same day, dude. Oh, even with the dates. I was going to say, what is the date? I got it. Yeah, thank you. If he was talking to me. Thank you, Sean. Thank you very much. Well, people, that's been an hour and a half. I don't really want to cut it short, but I don't really have anything else to say. If anybody's got any question before I end the show, throw it up and I'll get right to it. I'm going to have to call it quits. My dog wants to go out. I hear him crying. Oh, yeah. And I'll go get Puppy. He's getting so big now, man. Hang on. While I'm waiting for a question, let me go get Puppy. Come on, man. All right, now you can come over here now, man. For a minute, you can. Come on. Come here. Come on. Up here. There you go. Oh. He goes right for the mouth. He's a kissing dog and a biting one, too. He loves to bite. Well, not bite. Little love bites. That's his thing. Love biting. And crying like a baby. Tell him you do that well, don't you? All right, let's see. Thank you, Smooth. Thank you. All right. Well, everybody, man, I appreciate everybody for being here. I got to take Puppy out. He's wanting my soda. Oh, come here. Turn around, man. Tell me so you can see your face. Here. right there. Would you look at the camera? Would you just look at the camera? Would you look at the camera? Okay, man, he's like really wound up for some reason. I know, man. He's so adorable, isn't he? Oh my God, he's a big baby. Well, hop down, man. What are you doing? Well, come on, man. Hop down. Stop fighting me. Hop down. All right, man. I thank everybody for being here, man. Y'all's the greatest. And if you haven't liked, haven't subscribed, do it now. Do it right now. Like and subscribe. And I will see you guys by next Tuesday. Peace.